there's Bobby. Muted, but he's here.
Great. He might be connecting still.
Oh no, I've been here.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I just messaged you. You can ignore that. We're ready on our end, Bill. I don't know if you're still waiting for some colleagues.
No, I think we got what we're probably going to get.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here and these new faces. My name is Javier Mason, the chief partner for GAU. I figure since we have some new faces, we can take some time, and relatively few people, we can take some time to kind of introduce ourselves as a team. We'll let GAU go first, and then I'll give the floor over to you, Bill. So, Bobby, I think you're up on deck.
Second.
I figured we could just introduce ourselves. We have some new faces here.
Yep. Bobby Murmer, co-president of GAU.
I'm Meredith Miska, also co-president of UFGAU.
I'm Rachel Hartnett. I'm the healthcare chair of GAU.
Awesome. And go ahead, Bill.
I'm Bill Cannell, and I'm chief partner for the university, and I do both grad assistants and faculty.
And I'm Paul Duncan. I'm the senior associate dean of the graduate school.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. So you sent me something on Tuesday, Bill. I don't know when you want to talk about that or if you want to talk about Article 10 first, but I'll give the floor to you either way.
I would like to clean this up and finish this off if we possibly can. As I indicated in the note that I sent on Tuesday, this was for your information. We could not technically put it on the table remotely like that. So we are hereby putting it on the table. And I think we addressed the concerns that Bobby had the other day, which was the then Article point 3 in the resolution agreement, and he said, I asked if we took that out, would the union be ready to sign? And he was positive but did not totally say yes. I checked with our general counsel on it. They are fine with it. So if you folks are fine with it, then I think we have an agreement here.
Okay, you noticed that we pulled out the Article 10 language, which I think is a good move. I guess my only lingering concern, and this is kind of personal, I don't know if my team feels the same way, is regarding item 6. There may even be some kind of conflict between item 3 and item 6, where you acknowledge prior implementation of the healthcare changes before ratification, and then you profess that you won't admit to a violation of a rule or no liability. Are you doing that because you're concerned of any kind of additional civil liability? I'm trying to understand, I guess, how we can reconcile this.
That is standard language that the General Counsel's office does on every settlement agreement we have.
Okay.
So I can't change that.
Is the university going to make some kind of announcement, though, to its employees explaining why they're getting, I know it's a little bit of money, but that particular paycheck, where we're hoping to fix this, there is going to be a change in how much money they're receiving. I imagine people are going to be kind of on the lookout for the reception of the $227.25 we're working out, we've worked out. Is there going to be some kind of announcement, like you're also going to be receiving this money because it's yours, essentially?
Right. Paul and I have been working, and got a couple other people working as well, on an announcement that would go to deans, directors, and department chairs, indicating that we're making the payment, and that it will be in the April 9 paycheck.
Will a similar announcement go out to GAs, though?
I don't communicate with GAs. That's your responsibility. I can't do that.
are you willing to as the employer? I mean, I understand with the representative for GAs, some people and Florida's very careful about this, have a right to not care about our correspondences. My concern, Bill, is that someone who's, everyone's going to be looking out for this paycheck, right? For the 227, that money's going to come in. They're going to see it's a little bit more. And if I'm out of the loop, if I don't care about GAU, right, and I see this money and I see that I got a little bit more money, my mind is probably going to panic a little bit for wage theft concerns. If the university overpays me, now I've got an obligation to reach back out to the employer and fix this problem. If I don't, I could be subject to criminal penalties.
Right.
So that's why I think an announcement from the employer to the employee would really be appropriate and might even save a few people a lot of headaches.
Here's my problem. Again, if I communicate directly with your membership, I'm violating state rules on that. I'm not supposed to have any direct communication with them. I'm supposed to have it through the union. Now, I can do one of two things, and I'm willing to do either or both. I can send you this resolution agreement, or I can send you the note that we're sending to deans, directors, and department chairs, and I can do that probably on Monday or Tuesday at the latest.
Okay. Go ahead, Bobby.
So in the step 2 grievance response, the last, I'm trying to pull it up here, and I do apologize, my computer is actually very wonky, so please bear with me. In the step 2 grievance response, I believe it was the last item that you responded to, you had written not so much a acknowledgement or admission of guilt or fault, but an acknowledgement of the importance of following administrative procedures with regards to ratifying and implementing CBA changes. Would you be willing to, not as part of the resolution agreement document, but as a separate document sent to us, be willing to revise that to make it more readable, that we may then share with our members? So it's not quite an admission of guilt.
I'm not sure what's so unreadable about it.
I'm sorry, my computer's being really wonky and this is embarrassing.
Let me put it this way. I'm happy to do that if you would send me some suggested concerns about how to phrase it.
Okay,
I don't want to hold
I
up
think that's
today.
workable.
I don't want to hold up today. I want to be sensitive to your concerns, and yes, I would be happy to send something that you could share with your members.
Okay, I'd be happy to work with you on that.
Okay.
That's promising.
So, and if we, the only other thing I could, at least get out for discussion is if in the note that the university sends to the deans, directors, and department chairs, kind of announcing the fact of the $227.25 and that's being paid out, we could add to that note a separate sentence indicating there's also $3 from this other thing, and oh, by the way, please try to inform all graduate assistants. So if that note specified the 227, specified the 3, and asked that those people inform graduate assistants, would that cover your needs?
That would assuage my concerns.
Okay.
I think Bobby and Meredith, I don't know if you feel the same way. I do want to point out though, Bill, I appreciate why you are specifically hesitant to reach out to our membership. I'm more so envisioning this coming from HR, right?
Same problem.
Okay. But some sort of messaging, I think, from the employer expressing that this is the amount that you should be getting, especially since we're already specifying an amount and it's going to change. That would be That would be very helpful.
Yeah, but Javier, I know what Bill is referring to when he says that there are regulations and laws that sort of bind their ability to speak with employees on union matters, right? Because this is a union negotiation, not a negotiation. Sorry, this is part of the union grievance. There are lines that you don't want to cross. So I know what he's referring to, and he's correct in that. I finally was able to pull up. Oh, I am not a host. Sorry, can someone let me host?
I think Becky beat me to the punch. She usually does.
Nope, that's wrong one. Sorry. Do you guys see my screen now? You should see a
PDF.
PDF, yes. Okay. So basically, I'm asking that parts of this be rewritten, and I guess what I could do is email you this text, and I can highlight the parts that are a little like vague or just could use a little rewording.
Okay, fine.
And then you can send that back, and then we can share it.
Right, exactly. Happy to do that.
All right.
I do have another additional concern. Again, it's not that I want to hold this up, but we need to recognize that this is only the premium financial burden. We don't know yet, because I'm still in communication with Shannon. She's still in communication with Gator Grad Care and Florida Blue. If there were any hospitalizations during this month and a half, that could have cost our
And I think
utilizing Tier 2 hospital services up to $500, or even more with Tier 3 services. So again, I just am worried that there is no space in this resolution for GAs who experience this undue hardship that they wouldn't have experienced if it wasn't implemented early, to get back a significant portion of their income, because we don't make very much this year.
And I think we agreed last week not to go down that path. We can get you the information, but I think we agreed not to go down that path, because that gets very complicated.
So we don't know that it's, and I remember our conversation, at least when I was there. I wasn't there exactly the last bargaining session, but I remember our conversation that Shannon would get back to us as to whether it was possible to make these payments, because I think the hang up was that the payments wouldn't come from the university, they would come from Gator Grad Care. They would have to come directly from the providers.
Exactly.
Okay. Is it your impression that by signing this agreement, someone who, I imagine it would be very few, if any, if it was even possible, if anyone wanted to pursue this, would be precluded from seeking that payment from the provider? So I'm talking about the kind of person that Rachel's mentioned, someone who's had really a terrible year and had to be hospitalized for whatever reason, right? Do you think that by signing this settlement between the university and GAU, right, that any person who wants to kind of get their money back from the provider directly, not necessarily the university or Gator Grad Care, would be precluded from doing so?
I don't think so, but I guess I will check with both Shannon and Jill Sumfest to see if there's a problem there. And I'm also willing, after we get through all the nonsense here, to sit down with you and with Dr. Sumfest and Shannon and look at the data just to say, how big of a problem do we have?
The real problem, and again, I'm in communication with Shannon, is just that there's a backlog. So we won't be able to get that information until late April, probably, and it's looking more like May. So again, I'm not deliberately trying to, stall up this negotiation, but again, I just want to make sure, again, if we have a GA who experienced a hospitalization and utilized Tier 2 services, because of being out of area, right, COVID has pushed a lot of us out of area, they would have had to pay an additional $500 for their admission deductible, right? And that's not a small cost to GAs. So again, I just want to make sure that these people, that our GAs are protected if something like this did happen. And again, Javier is entirely right. We don't know if anyone utilized this. What we agreed about was the smaller costs, right? The calendar year deductibles, which members would usually utilize anyway. Like I said, if anyone hit $200 in the first month and a half, they would hit $200 throughout the year, the calendar year. That's not a problem. And the same for copays and things like that. What really concerns me is hospitalization utilization during this month and a half.
Yeah, and I don't want to kind of, if you will, pre-bargain something like that. We certainly are open to doing whatever we can to ease that burden and working with you on that within the constraints of the collective bargaining agreement.
I appreciate that, Bill. I think that's very helpful. I think, this might, fair point, this might be a non-issue we're spending some time on. But you can understand why we wouldn't want to close the doors on our members, especially members who have become vulnerable for circumstances beyond their control. But this is an agreement between the union and the university.
Right.
So I think that without any of us kind of gazing into the tea leaves here and trying to divine what would happen, I think that I feel much better knowing that the universities want to at least have a good faith conversation should that incident arise.
Okay.
I think that it would be appropriate for us to caucus. I think it'll be very brief.
Okay.
We do have some members here, and I think we do have a link provided. I don't want to be premature about that. Bobby, Rachel, Meredith, any final thoughts before we kind of discuss between ourselves?
I didn't see a caucus link in the email.
Okay, we can provide one here.
Did I miss it though?
No, I don't see one either.
We can sign off and then you can send me a message. You can just stay right here.
I think I can.
I thought, Stephen, did you send me something, or did I imagine that? I mean, Dr. Phillips, by the way, everyone. Did
All
you?
right.
Congratulations.
Stephen is always here. He's our version of Becky.
Okay, and I think
Yeah, we got a link. You guys see it?
Bobby shared it with everyone, and okay, thanks, Bobby. We'll do that, Bill, so you guys don't have to bounce around.
okay, and while you're in caucus, there's two other things that I would like to talk about down the road.
Okay.
Just so you can talk about it during your caucus.
Sure.
One is, I think it would be useful, we've done this in the past, it would be useful to sit down with Dr. Sumfest and go through our experiences, just so you know and we know, because I don't know at this point, what our experience level has been or over the last year. And the second is, we agreed that we would have a reopener to discuss Article 10.
Yes. I acknowledge that it's the second issue. We agreed to have a reopener on Article 10. I think that we also agreed to have a reopener on parental leave. And I think that's written into the contract as well.
Parental leave is I believe, is it next year? I think
I think that's accurate. But if you want to talk about it informally at this point, I have no trouble with that.
Okay. So we'll talk about it with our members, and so I think you're kind of hinting at a consultation before we hit the bargaining table.
Okay.
Is that what you're kind of intimating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I do want to note that Article 10 has already been reopened.
No. But Bobby, we reopened Article 10.6 specifically, but this is not our Article 10. I think what Bill's getting at is that this isn't our Article 10 salary reopener.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair
So
enough.
this is our current negotiations on Article 10 are limited to 10.6.
Right.
Right. So okay, we will. And Bill, before we bounce, can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean by our experiences? Are you talking about what's happening at the bargaining table? Are you interested in hearing about COVID experience for graduate assistants? What specific?
Just the claims experience. We've twice in each of the last couple of years we've had a session where Jill and other folks, usually from the Blues, come and just describe to us and to you what last year's experiences were. It's a kind of a fair warning about what's going on in terms of how expenditures are aligning with expectations.
Yeah, and then usually we come up with programs to try to decrease costs by redirecting unit members into more appropriate medical outlets. So on and so forth.
And
pretty productive conversation.
Yeah, you've done that in the past a couple times, and I really appreciate that. The other thing that we could do is not required, but if both sides agree to have some kind of reopener to discuss something because of the experience levels, we could. Now, one can ask, and the other side said, no, we've got a contract, we're going to stick with what we got, and that's fine. But if we both say we would like to reopen so that we can consider X or Y or Z, that's permissible.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll definitely have a conversation about that, and we'll work on scheduling that. I think that'll be really informative.
Okay, so you're going to go to your caucus, and we're just going to sit here and wait for you to come back.
We will. I'll let you know when we're coming in. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Bill. I'll see everyone at the other meeting.
You don't have to let me know. You just come back in because we're not going to go to the caucus. We're just going to stay right here.
Okay, we'll do. Thanks, Bill.
Okay.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for your patience. So we've had the opportunity to caucus, and we accept the terms in the proposed resolution to resolve the Article 12 grievance. I think now the appropriate measure is for us to sign it via DocuSign.
Yeah, Becky's the one who's.
Yeah.
Okay, great. This is kind of a side issue, I guess, but it's probably appropriate for one of the co-presidents to sign it as opposed to the chief bargainer, I would think.
Yeah, so just make sure I'm CC. I'll take care of it.
But do you agree, Bobby, that it should be either you or Meredith? You as standing grievance chair?
Well, not grievance chair, I was the grievance representative on this particular grievance.
Okay.
That's why I initially.
It matters not to us.
Yeah, I know. But just so you said it to the, so we do it right the first time.
So set it up for Bobby to sign?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, and Bill, I wanted to, so I think that should resolve that major issue.
Yep.
And we appreciate the university's good faith efforts to kind of, address this quickly and put this into writing. I did want to ask you, you mentioned Article 10 coming up again in the fall, correct?
If you want to do it now rather than the fall, I don't care.
Okay. I think we would rather do it in the fall.
That's fine.
So there isn't. So you're not suggesting that there's some kind of urgent need for us to address? Okay.
No.
Okay. And like paid parental leave, if we wanted to consult with you on that beforehand, would you be amenable to doing that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great.
And then the other one was
Paid parental leave.
No, the experience level with.
Oh, that's right. Over. Yeah. So I'm amenable to a consultation. I think my team will be. Generally, I think Bobby's going to jump in here.
Yeah, with those things, these are, like I said, I've actually really enjoyed it and thought these are some of the most productive conversations we've had with the university. So as far as the experience consultation with healthcare, I think it'd be best to do that sooner rather than later, because if we can come up with some program to try to decrease costs or divert employees to more efficient and cost-efficient avenues. I'd like to get a jump on that.
And I agree with that, and we will talk with Dr. Sumfest and with Shannon and get something scheduled as soon as we possibly can.
Okay, we'll look out for that email, Bill, so we can get the information in sooner rather than later. We appreciate that.
Okay.
I think there was one more thing I want to talk about, but it's not coming to mind, so it's probably not pressing.
Bobby was going to send me the note on.
Correct. We will work with you to sort of compile a message,
Right.
and get that information out to our members.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
I have no further issues, Bill. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. No, I have no further issues. I was just going to ask our team, all two of us plus Becky, for a short conference that we can go into a caucus for that.
Is Shannon not here?
Shannon,
I don't see Shannon.
No, Shannon has not been here today.
Okay. Is she going to be CC'd on the DocuSign email just so she's aware of what was on? I just want to make sure because I don't know if she has that.
I'll make sure she gets it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, Paula, and Becky, and I hope everyone has a great weekend.
You too.
Right. Bill, we'll see you at
And
And Bill, I'll see you at caucus in a couple minutes.
Yep.